Alright guys, so welcome back to the Street Fighter X character rehab brought to you by FingerCramp. And it's your host FC Jago and Hack on the mic today. Hack will be doing Rufus and I of course will be doing my little spider right here, Juri. Well, let's go through some normals, alright? Juri's jab, crouching short, and crouching jab, and so on and so forth don't actually have any outside use except for they chain into each other. Not a lot of characters get that benefit. Her far standing short goes really far, and she could actually chain it into medium kick, and her crouching short also goes very far. As for Juri's crouch strong, stand and stand forward, those are all footsie tools and they're decent anti-airs. Her crouch forward is her best footsie tool in my opinion because it can be canceled into a special move and also lower her profile. Juri also has an overhead as you just saw, and her close and far standing fierce are also great anti-airs. This is her far standing fierce and her crouching fierce as you saw there. Her far standing roundhouse is also a nice footsie tool, goes over lows, and her crouching roundhouse should be chained into from low forward, but if you just want to throw it out there from a far distance, it's relatively safe. Her close standing fierce, as you see here, puts the character in a juggle state. Alright guys, so moving on to Juri's special moves, you'll see that she has the Fuhajin, the light shot going low, the medium shot going mid, and the high shot going high, and she's able to store all three at any given time when she desires. The EX version can be done with light, medium kick, it also causes knockdown, goes low, and medium and high kick, which also goes high and causes knockdown. Her Sempusha, the light version, not knocking down, the medium kick version going further and causing knockdown, and the high kick version causing knockdown and going a lot further, but is a lot more unsafe. Her EX Pinwheel, as you saw there, does contain invincibility, to answer your question. She also has her counter, which the low version goes forward, the medium version goes backwards, and the high version simply goes up. I'll get into the EX version later. She also has the Sheik Kusin, which is her dive kick. This does put the opponent in a juggle state. Juri's super art can be used to actually counter fireball attempts, and it does have invincibility to fireballs in general. Her cross art, on the other hand, can actually be used as an anti-air, and at the correct distance, it actually goes over fireballs. So you're gonna have to space that one out, right? That's not a freebie. But no, you do have to space it. So I want you guys sit back and enjoy some combos from Juri. So for those of you who played Street Fighter 4, you'll probably be like, wait a minute, she's always in Feng Shuei mode? Yeah, because in this game, chains are what dominate. So Juri actually has the ability to chain any given time she wants. So for those of you coming from Street Fighter 4 and those of you not, just keep in mind that chains is sort of going to be what's heavy about this game in terms of Juri's playstyle. Why? Because that's where she was strongest in Street Fighter 4, and now the ability is given to her at any given time. But one note I will have to mention about her is just that she's gonna have to jump to really land the big damage. If you really want to land big damage forward-wise with her, you're gonna have to have a fireball stored, and it's gonna be really situational, like in the corner, or you caught your opponent with a close low forward, or close standing strong, or close crouching strong. I think you guys get me, etc, etc. I don't want to stress or beat a dead horse, as I would say. Just note, you're gonna have to play really technical with this character and get used to holding down buttons. That's what I'm going through right now. So let's move on to some gem layouts for Juri. Now, in my opinion, the first layout, which is what I chose, is best. Why? Juri's already a fast character who can move and be where she wants, and why not give her more speed at the beginning of the match so she can get things going? Also, she has the Onslaught gems, which give her a whole bunch of meter, and you can never go wrong with the Fortitude gems, as you saw. This last layout is just me being greedy once again for Juri's speed. Let's move on to some advanced tactics with Juri. That's gonna have to be spacing and zoning. Why spacing with Juri? Juri doesn't exactly have the buttons that say, I'm scared to come in because she's gonna do this on me. She actually does have the anti-air down pat where you don't want to jump in on her, but she doesn't have the ground, the whole ground fair going for her. As you can see, she can really get the pressure in here. You see she has dive kick pressure, puts you in a whole bunch of frame traps, and at any given time she has you know, a Fahujin stored, you don't know when she's going to release it. She can play into that to put you into random grab pressure and so on and so forth. Her zoning, you don't exactly have to be on point with her zoning. She was actually given the tools to fight against other fireball characters while being able to store her fireball and dissipate yours and also get around yours with that dive kick. I'm telling you, that dive kick is really, really important. She was also given 3 great cross-ups, which you can do jump in short, jump cross-up medium kick, or you can do jump in fierce. Her footsies are top-notch in terms of counter poking. Her footsies are not actually there as, you know, where you can do crouch forward fireball, crouch forward charge, dash forward. Her fireballs, I mean her footsies are actually used to cause frustration. So you don't find a way in, so you want to jump in, but she has perfect anti-airs. So keep in mind that Juri has a defense zoning style because of this, using her 3 different types of fireballs. She also has multiple anti-airs for all kinds of situations, so you're really going to want to concentrate on her ground game to force people to jump. But you also, in turn, have to jump to land big damage. Juri's footsies, like I said, they're not dangerous unless she's already pouring the pressure on, so you need to keep in mind what type of player you're facing, one that wants to challenge you, or one that will actually sit there and take your block strings. And she's still, like her image as she was in Street Fighter 4, she still lacks a dependable wake-up option. If you really, really wanted to bait out her EX counter or her EX pinwheel, you could simply just press a fast-moving limb that would be considered a medium block. Alright guys, now it's time for Rufus, so I'm going to tag in Hack. Let's go!
Alright guys, let's start off with Rufus's normals. As you can see, his normals have stood the same since Street Fighter 4, but in general have gotten better since the Street Fighter X Tekken engine allows people to chain, which is a huge deal. So his crouching, his jab and his standing jab serve the same purpose as they did in Street Fighter 4, which is after a dive kick, you'll be using to offer some safe pressure. Top of that, it stops your opponent from jumping away. So his medium punch button, or his medium button in general, is probably his best button. His crouching medium punch is his only really reliable anti-air. As you can see, we can use crouching medium punch a little later, but standing medium punch is great for whiff punishing. It comes out really fast, has a pretty large hitbox, as you can see there, while he was getting whiff punish on his crouching forward. Standing medium kick, you can probably be using this similar to what you've seen in Street Fighter 4 against grapplers to keep them at bay. It's a good get off me tool. It has an extremely long range, and the hitbox is actually hard to see. The hurtbox on Rufus is all the way in the back, so you know it's a great tool to use. So crouching medium punch, same use as before. You know, maybe with the jab or something, and then crouching medium punch to keep the opponent away. And then once you see him in that juggle state, you might want to start that dive kick pressure. His crouching medium kick is probably his best move to link into after a standing jab or a crouching jab and get that decent damage. It goes into Galactic Tornado. It's really low, comes out pretty fast. It's good for a great character like him, especially someone who's so offensive. His forward medium kick is an overhead. You're going to be using this to go over lows a lot and offer, tell people to stop blocking low. His down forward medium kick serves the same purpose as it did in a Street Fighter 4, which is half screen away, hit somebody low, and hopefully get a counter hit and chain into a combo. It's just as good footsie tool as it is now. So his standing fierce and his standing hard kick normals, you could probably be using them in combos, especially if it's crouching fierce, which can actually be chained into from a standing medium punch almost anywhere on the screen. So, and on counter hit actually causes a crumple. Standing fierce, as you can see there, I'm using it as more of a situational anti-air. It works. You're probably not be using that much. You want to go something more consistent, which is the crouching medium punch, but it's there just in case it comes out, because when the opponent's close, the other animation X comes out and he will get knocked in the head. His standing roundhouse, on the other hand, is not as good as it was before, I honestly say. It doesn't go over that many lows, and you're going to be using this in combos only, and that's fine since he has other moves to make up for it. His trip, on the other hand, see if he takes 90 damage, and he's going to be used to end all your combos since a lot of it doesn't scale. It scales extremely well. It means it doesn't scale at all. So his crouching fierce on counter hit actually crumples, so you can actually get in there, get full damage. This move's actually got a huge buff. Look at the hitbox on this thing. Cross-ups can stop it. It actually knocks you full screen anywhere it hits you. Look at that. Ryu got launched full screen from a forward fierce, and it's an amazing anti-air. So use it if you want to get the opponents off you, if you got a life lead, if you got the time lead, whatever the case is. Jumping fierce is it's similar to Chun-Li's, just a little worse. His jumping roundhouse is just as good as it was in Street Fighter 4, meaning you want to use this to chain into combos. Since there's so many other moves you can use, you stay away from it. Now let's get into his Falcon kick. Oh my god, even though to slow this move down, it's so good. As you can see there, look how ambiguous that was. It's easier to actually combo into his standing fierce. You stay away from going to low, go for the standing fierce, at least you'll get the counter hit if somebody's mashing. Alright, let's get into Rufus' specials. Most of the specials have stood exactly the same for the most part. His Galactic Tornado still has the hit of armor to absorb projectiles on it. It can be controlled, determining the distance if you want to go more forward or more back. But the one cool change has been with the EX1, which causes a wall bounce now. It still has his amazing abilities, but at the same time is a great combo ender. His Messiah kick, also another great special move. That's why you want to keep meter with this guy at all times. It has a high-low or a straight up kick mix-up. As you can see there, it is also one of the best moves to use to actually get your opponent in the screen. They offer some good mix-up potential when you do the tag in from it. Great move in general. His Snake Strike, I haven't found much use for it since it's not a reliable anti-air for the most part. EX Snake Strike takes about 150 damage, but since you can probably get a juggle state off most of his anti-air normals, you might even want to save the meter for EX Messiah kick and stuff like that. Stay away from that move. His Super is the Big Bang Typhoon. It's an amazing move. It can be comboed into from almost anywhere on the screen. His Crosshair, as you can see, is a physical attack, and it gets your opponent in there real fast. Alright, let's go into some of his combos. These look really familiar except for that part. And look how much damage that takes. That was only in the corner. This is a good mid-screen combo to do. This is off the jab only. Boom. You actually get the Snake Strike off. And now watch, if you have the meter for the Ultra, that needs 3 meters on deck. Check this out. Go to a full Big Bang Typhoon. This is a lot of damage, especially in this game. So I want you guys to take your time and actually read these combos. A lot of them aren't difficult. The one thing we've been saying over here at FingerCramp about Rufus is he seems pretty simple. A lot of stuff's easy to pull off, but it's so effective. He looks like a great character on any point, back, forward, first tag in, whatever you need. But take some time to read these combos. They're not the most difficult, but take a whole lot of damage. Now on to gems. So one thing I would say about picking Rufus' gems is honestly stick to speed since he needs the most mix-up potential. He already takes a lot of damage. The only thing I would sacrifice speed gems for is likely an Onslaught gem, which gives him meter since he could use that to get out of a lot of trouble. Now we're on to Advance. It's funny how we're starting Advance section off with one of the most simplest ideas of any fighting game, which is dive kick. And dive kick a lot, especially since this game you cannot block as soon as you hit the ground. Dive kicking is so effective since you can end your dive kick early, bait your opponent into jumping, and then get a full combo off of it. Like I mentioned before, you know, dive kick and use the roundhouse after that. He also has an extremely effective jumping medium kick. And if you remember Street Fighter 4, it would whiff a lot since it had a crappy hitbox. Well, the hitbox is a lot better. But now you see, once you got your opponent in the corner, you start that same old Rufus pressure. You know, try to get in there with the forward roll and bait your opponent into doing stupid things like crouch Tekken and get full damage. So once you start playing footsies, as you can see, since everything changed now, it's so easy to get damage with Rufus and get your opponent in there. He has one of the best tag combos in the game, if not the best chain. As you can see, you can combo off his standing medium kick, which reaches far, then go straight into his crouching fierce, which lets him easily hit confirm into his tag move. It's too effective, honestly. I just use chains all the time since it's easy to do. I don't mess up a lot, and if I feel like I go full damage combo like you've seen there. Probably one of the easiest things to hit confirm off of. You can see all the moves so far away, and their chains makes their life even easier. If you like taking damages, go ahead. As you can see now, I will go to the EX Galactic Tornado, hit him with the up kick. Actually dive kick after that too if I have my timing correct. There's so many potential ways to take damage, and it's not even that hard. So as you all know, Rufus is all about his mix-up potential, so you need to get knockdowns, and since he can chain into his knockdowns, it's not that hard to bait forward and back rolls. So, you know, dive kick a lot, go into that trip, especially if you need meter, and bait your opponent to doing something stupid. In general, all you need is the knockdown. So we're gonna knock this opponent down and see we can do safe dive kicks, We can do another save dive kick, or we can actually cross them up, and it's so meaty. If they get hit by that thing, they are getting a full 500 damage combo if you have a super on deck. Look at that. It's so ambiguous. Just as effective as before, even more effective in this game, since a lot of characters don't have the best reversals. And one of the cool things is people are saying forward tech rolls seem cheap. Well, Rufus puts you into a mix-up if he guesses your forward tech roll, which is so effective, especially in this game. Look, since he tried to tech roll forward, I get to put him into even more ambiguous mix-up, something he could probably avoid it just by standing up. Stuff like this actually makes some characters more effective than others. Now for some notes on Rufus. Rufus's playstyle, guess what? Stay the same. RushDown. He hits with authority and it hurts so good. I cannot emphasize that factor anymore. He hits so hard. Off a standing jab can get about 300 damage with 1 meter. His dive kicks give him an easy way to close in on your opponent, or easy way to change his jump trajectory, and easy way to mix your opponent up. Rufus may wind up being one-dimensional, but his simplicity makes up for it, similar to what you see in Rufus in Street Fighter 4 now. Even though he's pretty one-dimensional with his dive kick being his only really effective tool, he takes so much damage, and it's so easy to hit confirm, especially in this game, that it's no reason not to use him. Only problem is that he lacks any meterless wake-up options, meaning it's just like the original Messiah kicks are key to getting out of any mix-ups. But for the most part, if you don't ever get knocked down, you have a decent set of footsie tools, I don't see him actually losing that many matchups. But since he is one-dimensional and people can just verse the hell out of him, you might want to stay away.
So let's do a quick overview. Juri's pros, her zoning game rocks. Her anti-airs anything, period. She can anti-air whatever she needs to. All of her combos lead to perfect Okies, in my opinion. But let's go with some of her cons that I don't personally like. Jumping, she must jump for max damage. And her limbs, like I said, they don't have to be feared unless she's already bringing the pressure on. So that puts her chair in mid for me because her damage output is low.
Alright, now let's get to the pros and cons of Rufus. Of course, the first one being the damage is too damn high. It's so easy to kill somebody with a Rufus, and it's easy to do it too. It has many ways to land a hit. And can you say Falcon kick, aka dive kick, especially in a game which rewards you for counter hitting so much? He is one-dimensional, has to be in the air at almost all times, and has to spend a meter to shake opponent off. I honestly put him as upper mid tier. Damage plus dive kick equals great. Yeah, this has been the New Age Fighters Guide. Please stay tuned for a guide next week, which will feature both Poison and Chun-Li. And us at FingerCramp and Capcom want to thank you for viewing this tutorial. Hopefully it gives you a better hands-on feel of how Juri and Rufus play. As you all know, please follow us at Capcom Unity and at FingerCramp. And thank you for watching.